Good morning, welcome back. Coming back 8:25 Saturday morning, leap day, and coming up tomorrow, March, all sorts of activities, and one of the premier ski events going on in the Mount Washington Valley in North Conway always is the Hannes Schneider Meister Cup race. With us, a lot of people know Roy Prescott, loquacious kind of guy, so not too worried about getting answers this morning. But Roy has his literal hat on for the New England Ski Museum, here to talk about the Hannes Schneider Meister Cup race at Cranmore coming up March 13, 14, 15. Good morning, Roy. So kind of late in the day for you?
Loquacious. Very nice. Thank you.
That means talkative.
Yes, very talkative. Not bashful. My mother taught me that. But yeah, great to be here. Thank you very much. It's great to be a part of the New England Ski Museum. They have been around since 1977 with their original branch in Franconia at the tram at Cranmore Mountain. But 2 years ago, this past week, we opened the Eastern Slope branch because there's enough history on this side of New Hampshire in the Eastern Slope, which is what this area used to be called before it was the Mount Washington Valley, that they opened up the museum 2 years ago, raised $2 million, and it's a beautiful specimen. I hope the people that come in are just amazing. You never know who the heck you're going to see. Yeah,
it's a good spot right here on Main Street, right in town. Can't miss it.
Right by Shula Park. Got free admission.
Nice stuff in there, and I'm sure people always like to tell their stories of yesterday.
It's amazing. You just the people that come in that are just like third generation from the beginning of it all, back in the 1930s when Hannes opened up the ski school, came over thanks to Harvey Gibson to this area where he's after being held by the Nazis in Austria in his home of St. Anton, and he came over here. They started, thanks to Harvey Gibson, built a ski mobile locally.
Right.
George Morton built that. There's a lot of history to it. But we embrace that history, and we use this race that's coming up on the 14th proper, but the weekend takes place 13th through the 15th as one of our major fundraisers.
Right. So also sort of there's always a link to history. And certainly it's a day that Lederhosen, vintage sweaters and stuff are cool. I mean, you see a lot of that. But it seems like every year there's some sort of historical link. Right. And this time, don't we have a 100-year anniversary connected to this?
We do. Back in 1920, well, Hannes was born in 1890, so I mean, about time he was in his late 20s into his early 30s, he invented the way that we ski today. Right. Before that, skiing was a mode of transportation. It wasn't a sport.
Sure.
He brought the sport into it sort of accidentally by having to figure out how to turn going down the Alps in a frozen situation one day, and then he took it from there. So he became the ski meister. People came from around the world to go to St. Anton on Arlberg to ski the Alps and learn from Hannes Schneider, from the rich and famous to anybody, and to the locals. And he was incredibly embraced. So in 1920, a gentleman named Arnold Funk recorded made a movie.
Which is what we're looking at right now.
The first ski movie. These guys were incredible. And these big, long, fat skis. And this was The Fox and the Hunt. And it was called The White Ecstasy. That movie clip was from 1931, actually. But it gives you an idea of what they were doing, developing the sport.
Sure.
So that's something that we're remembering this year around with the 24th annual Hannes Schneider Meister Cup at Cranmore Mountain Resort.
And then also, there is the ski race on Saturday, and you have all types of skiers from, top college, Olympians, and also, I guess you're having a contingent coming over from St. Anton.
Yes, this year we are going to be incredibly honored to have some folks. The mayor of St. Anton is coming to town. His name is Helmut Mall, and Eddie Mall was his nephew. Eddie came over around the time of Hannes and was an instructor at Cranmore, and he's in the Snow Sports Hall of Fame too. So there's a contingency of 5 Austrians coming over for the first time in quite a number of years. So we're really excited about that.
And also there's a link to the 10th Mountain Division.
There is, most definitely. 75 years ago this year, as the Germans were being pushed out of Italy, they had ensconced themselves in the higher elevations so they could just shoot down, and they figured they were impenetrable, really. Well, Minot Minnie Dole, who was a civilian, unbelievably talked the Army into the fact that if they were going to fight in the mountains, they had to have trained mountain warfare men. And that's when the 10th Mountain Division was started. They trained in Camp Hale in Colorado. They went to the Aleutians after the Japanese had already split. They ended up in Texas, of all places. But then the call for especially the rock climbers, the technical rock climbers and the skiers was made, and off they went to Italy in 1945, captured Riva Ridge, which was an incredible part of the story, and that was the push that got Germany out of Italy. Amazing.
Well, there's incredible history here in New Hampshire about skiing, and skiing, of course, is the official state sport here as well. And we have a skiing governor, and I understand he plans to attend?
We are hoping that, I think it's 99.9% sure because he's a busy guy.
Yes.
But being a skiing enthusiast and with the St. Anton contingent coming over, he is going to be here for the opening ceremonies. So on Friday night, we meet at Zips at Cranmore Mountain Resort.
Right.
And quickly, I need to throw a quick thank you out to the folks at Cranmore, Ben Wilcox, Becca DeShanes, Glenn Harmon, Karen Dolan in the snow sports, John Mercereau, who will be developing the snow stage and keeping the trail ready. Mike Rennie from Centerplate will be feeding us magnificently all weekend long. And of course, there'll be the music from the Bavarian Brothers all weekend, Friday night, all day Saturday too, for Oompa band music.
Nice, nice. So there's lots going on. And also typically a member of the Schneider family is there.
Yes.
We see,
we're in the third generation typically now because Hannes and Christoph run inns over in St. Anton this time of year. So Hannes the third and Marcus kind of switch off each year. And it's been fun watching them grow from teenagers into their 20s now.
Right.
And they embrace the history. They love the fact that they are part of this. It's really amazing.
Nice, nice. So it's coming up again the weekend, March 13th, 14th, 15th. And if people want to still sign up, they want to take part in the race or what have you, how can they do that?
Well, if you go to meistercup.org, that's the easiest way, and that will get you to the entry form that we have here.
Right.
And you can put together a team of 5 or sign up by yourself, and we'll put you on a team. There's the opening night, Friday night, with a Tyrolean buffet, torchlight parade, thanks to Cranmore Snow Sports. Bavarian Brothers will be there, and it's just a really nice welcoming for everybody. The Army Mountain Warfare School from Vermont comes over representing the 10th Mountain Division, and they usually sing, which is singing was a big part of the 10th Mountain Division. And so we have fun there. And then on Saturday at 9:30 and 9:15, the opening ceremony with the presentation of the colors and the talks from all the folks, and we'll meet the folks from St. Anton officially, and I'm the MC for Friday night and all day through the day Saturday. Racing 2 runs through the day, lunch in between, and then of course it wouldn't be a ski party without an après ski party.
Yes, and I'm so glad you brought that up because one thing I remember about Herbert Schneider was his love of schnapps.
Yeah.
So it's a good schnappy weekend, if you will. Lots of good schnapps.
And Herbert was 10th Mountain Division, and there's incredible stories about him back in the day. There's a book that we have at the library at the Ski Museum called Night Climb by Frank Harper, and it tells of Hannes saving the day at night in the mountains because of his ability to speak German. So really something else. So that's a big part of it too. And then we have the vintage ski attire contest. Bring your stuff. You got that pink and whatever stuff way back in the closet in the barn.
Yep.
Bring it. Come up on stage. There's prizes. The awards ceremonies are incredible. The racing is for the fastest 2 folks that just can make their way down a pretty simple intermediate course.
Yes. Well, Roy, thank you once again for stopping by. So don't forget the Hannes Schneider Meister Cup 24th annual coming up March 13, 14, 15 at Cranmore. And also, you're here. It's Saturday. It's a weekend. Pop into the New England Ski Museum right here on Main Street, and a lot to learn. Good way to spend some time with you and your family. Thanks again for stopping by, and we'll be back after this.